Failed CNN anchor Don Lemon gets absolutely humiliated by the National Guard after he obnoxiously runs in their face with his stupid camera and stupid microphone and begs them to say something disparaging about Donald Trump, and they politely tell him to screw off. But that's not the only humiliation Don Lemon experienced while gallivanting around Washington, D.C., being a public nuisance. He bum-rushed Marjorie Taylor Greene's congressional office and gets the Capitol Police called on him, and gets schooled by a congressman about how the high murder rates in red states are because of the blue cities. And then he goes on the streets of Baltimore and gets his worldview destroyed after every person he speaks with says that they would be okay with the National Guard. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I know you guys are gonna love this one, and I have a bonus clip for you at the end that is so outrageous I just had to show it. But let's start with Don Lemon bum rushing Marjorie Taylor Greene's office and then getting the Capitol Police called on him.
And this is Don Lemon, and we're here visiting, and we'd like to let her know that we are.
There are ways that you can request an interview with the congresswoman and bombarding our office.
Oh no, we're not bombarding. This
we're
is
not
the
bombarding.
people's house, and we're
very
very
civil
peacefully
people
coming here to talk to you.
Yeah,
American citizens, we can
We'll reach out to our communications.
And what's your name?
Can I get one, please?
What's your name?
I don't.
You don't.
yeah, you work for us.
We work for the people of Northwest.
Oh, no, you work for the American people, and your salary comes from the tax dollars. You work for
Still
us.
reporting.
Yeah, well, that's Don for Don Lemon. He's a journalist. He's exercising his
There's
personal.
the mega hats on the thing. All right, let's go.
Get out of our office.
All right.
Don Lemon's meltdown since getting fired from CNN has been quite something to behold. His desperation to be relevant has caused him to become this shock jock citizen journalist who believes everybody should roll out the red carpet for him because he's Don Lemon, the guy who used to work for CNN. They barged into Marjorie Taylor Greene's office to make a spectacle, and then when they realized that she wasn't there, they started talking the ear off the receptionist, explaining why they're important and should be taken seriously, and why the freedom of the press allows them to trespass into somebody's personal office and record and stay for however long they want. But after getting kicked out of the Capitol, they go to Union Station so they can try to talk to some National Guardsmen. And Don Lemon, being the narcissist that he is, runs up to them thinking he's going to get a viral moment, which he did. Just not the kind of viral moment he thought. Take a look.
So we're in Union Station, and you guys, if you've been watching, you know, right behind you, this is where the members of the National Guard are stationed, right here. Hi guys, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
How do you guys feel? How do you feel being here?
Ooh, that's a great question.
To the state PAO's office. Thank you.
That's it? You guys aren't talking?
Yeah, state PO, sir. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
These troops had no interest in being a part of Don Lemon's propaganda. Don Lemon runs up with his untucked dress shirt, hoping that these troops are just as Trump deranged as he is. And they'll recognize him as the guy from TV and be willing to give a tell-all right there in the middle of the train station. The absolute arrogance and entitlement that would fuel somebody to disrespect the National Guard like this just to try to get a viral clip is absolutely bewildering. But he continues his journey through Washington, D.C., intentionally annoying everybody he comes into contact with. And then a congressman schools him on how the crime in red states is essentially all coming from blue cities.
Listen to the places. Los Angeles, blue, right? Chicago, that he's saying he's going to send
actually,
it.
Memphis is blue.
Blue.
Every city.
Well, Tennessee is a red state, okay?
But Memphis is extremely blue.
Okay, but still, it's in a red state.
But
All
you're
right,
using an
let's put it that
example of
way.
a
Okay, well,
Democrat.
fine. Let's just say Memphis. Baltimore, blue.
Blue.
Yeah. So
Name me a
DC,
big
blue.
city that's not blue.
Well, okay, let me say
Well,
something.
there.
Don, let me say something. Listen,
They're saying that has a crime problem.
Well, every city has crime problem. Not like those cities that you mentioned.
Congressman,
Jackson, Mississippi has crime.
Let's take
Every big city has a crime problem.
But that's exactly my problem. If you want to talk about addressing, when you had a new mayor in New York and they clean up crime, everybody's happier.
Yeah.
And that would happen to be a Republican that did that.
I think you're making a very good point.
Democrats have been running with the misleading talking point that 13 out of the 20 highest murder states are red states. But they say it that way to push a narrative, because saying that 24 out of the 25 cities with the highest murder rates are run by Democrats doesn't support their false narrative that Donald Trump is just purposely targeting these blue cities in blue states. J.B. Pritzker loves to say Chicago isn't in the top 20 for highest murder rates, but ignores that Chicago has the most murders in the United States and has been that way for 13 consecutive years. If a city has a murder rate of 30 per 100,000 people, but only has 100,000 people, you're talking about 30 murders, which is still tragic. It's still a lot. But you're not making a good argument when you say, well, Chicago only has 12 murders per 100,000 people, but almost 4 million people live there. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds of murders. And it's not just a big city problem. Chicago is the third largest city in America, but has more murders than New York and Los Angeles. They want Donald Trump to send the National Guard into 20 different small cities when he can send them into one city and save the same amount of human life. But of course, Democrats don't understand the concept of efficiency and working smarter, not harder. But Don Lemon lives a cushy upper class life and doesn't have to worry about any danger, so he can engage in his idealistic opposition to Donald Trump. But when he goes on the streets of Baltimore and talks to the real people on the ground, you know, the ones who have to deal with the crime problem, they say, yes, bring in the guard, help us.
I think it would help some.
Why so?
Coming from a family that was broken up, my husband was murdered 2 years ago, and nothing was ever done.
Murder where? At home?
Right out in front of our house.
Sorry.
It was a carjacking gone wrong, and they shot him in his head. Killed him instantly, so. But again, our lovely mayor didn't do nothing.
Did they ever find the perpetrator?
Nope.
So you want to see it?
Yes, I want justice.
You want justice, and you would like to see the troops here in the National Guard?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'm sorry you had that experience. The president said he wants to send troops here to Maryland. What do you think, Baltimore into Maryland?
I'm not opposed of it.
Right.
I think it'll be a good idea.
Why so?
Maybe we can clean up some of this crime-ridden neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know?
Is the crime bad?
Very bad. Atrocious.
Democrats really believe people are more afraid of trained troops patrolling the streets acting as a deterrent to crime than they are of lawless criminals who have no regard for human life running around terrorizing people. And Don Lemon is almost disgusted by these people's answers. The Democrats are a bunch of elitists who hate poor people because their problems are an inconvenience to Democrat moral superiority. He's like, how dare these annoying lower class people say that they want Donald Trump to stop the murders in their neighborhood? That really blows a hole open in my propaganda. And Bill Maher literally expresses that sentiment on his show when he admits the National Guard would significantly reduce crime, but it's not worth it because democracy.
Trump brags about the 87% decrease in carjackings in D.C. since the troops moved in. Yes, military states can reduce crime. Point conceded. Will militarizing our cities make them safer? Yes, but not safer for democracy.
Bill Maher wants people to endure and suffer because Bill Maher's idealistic philosophical beliefs on democracy are much more important. Bill Maher is saying, yeah, the National Guard would stop your loved ones from dying, but it would make me feel really uncomfortable. All because he's willingly decided to adopt an irrational belief that this is all part of Donald Trump's evil, villainous master plan. They just declare it's an authoritarian takeover, but never explain how. Is Donald Trump using the National Guard to arrest J.B. Pritzker? Is Donald Trump using the National Guard to fire at a crowd of protesters? Is Donald Trump using the National Guard to storm CNN or MSNBC and take them off the air? No, he's using the National Guard to save lives in predominantly black communities. And the Democrats are outraged about it because they would rather have these people's safety slow walked through sluggish policy debate. They want their magical social programs and more therapists, things that might yield a tiny marginal difference in 5 years, not instant relief for the law-abiding citizens who have to deal with a crime epidemic. But the last thing I'm going to show you, the bonus clip, actually has nothing to do with this topic, but it's still so strange, so outrageous, I just had to show it to you guys. This is the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, publicly, proudly bragging about getting an abortion. Take a look.
I was just elected, and I was faced with the decision whether to have an abortion or not. And I chose to have an abortion. I walked proudly into Planned Parenthood. And I make no apologies to anyone. To no one.
This is the party of killing babies, of sexualizing and sterilizing children, of illegal MS-13 gang members, of crime running rampant in our cities. But yeah, these are the saviors of civilization right here. They're trying to sell crime as being a non-negotiable aspect of democracy. The Democrats are always advocating for policies that other people are forced to deal with. I hope they continue this charade because they clearly haven't learned from their loss in 2024 that ignoring the concerns of the voters and instead telling them what they ought to be concerned about isn't a winning strategy. And now they're ignoring the citizens who say that they welcome the National Guard, and you must continue to suffer because we don't want Donald Trump to look good no matter what. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.